Great news, guys. There's a new room at Meow Wolf Santa Fe. Let's check it out. Okay, what the fuck is this? Looking around this space, where am I? I'm at Space Station Quillette. Not only was the space owl a very beloved art piece, and it had almost as much lore as the Selig Pastor family does. There was a whole website that I think you can still go to that has all of this stuff about like the last station on Earth. It was sort of a look into the future of Earth. There was so much to read. Like, this is when art... I'm about to rant. I'm just gonna rant here about Meow Wolf for a second. So Meow Wolf's method of creating artistic spaces, if they have a guest artist, they'll usually just give them the space and say, do what you want with it, and then the narrative team will weave it into the narrative. This can be really good, but it can be really bad because you get spaces like upstairs at Grapevine where it's just sort of a hallway of disjointed murals that don't have anything to do with the lore and don't have anything to do with each other. I'm not a fan. Not that the story team isn't great. I've seen them do amazing things, especially here in Santa Fe. I love the bed sheets in the twins' room that tie into the other art spaces that have that same aesthetic. That's a great touch that makes those rooms that are otherwise, they're very cool art. There's nothing wrong with them. But I love the idea that they like sprouted from the kids' mind, just from things in the house, things in their rooms that have grown out of their imagination into a real space. That's something really special. I think that sometimes guest artists don't know what to do with their Meow Wolf space. Using Grapevine as an example again, I don't think those artists were told anything about Jared or the narrative, and I don't think that the story team really did anything to try and tie them in either. That is not a knock against those artists. I totally understand that if you're not given any context, how are you gonna... But what drives me nuts is that one of the best guest artists Meow Wolf ever had was the artist that did Space Owl. They understood the assignment. I don't know if they were given Selig Pastor lore. I don't know if they were told anything about the existing lore outside, but they understood that this is a place where they want story, they want background, they want world building. I mean, again, I'm just speculating, but it seems like this artist was like, all right, if I don't have access to the world they're building, I'm going to build my own world. They did one of the best Meow Wolf spaces that Meow Wolf ever had. And then Meow Wolf's own team of artists that we know are amazing. They did this. They put 3 colors of lights that you can push buttons to mix colors. It reveals nothing. There is no puzzle. The room is gray and lifeless. There are cheap, uninteresting objects painted gray. Unlike other spaces, like in Nicolae's shed just now, I was trying to film and I sat in there and waited forever for it to clear out enough for me to film something, and it never did. I had to just kind of film something in a corner with people there and embarrass myself like that. That's fine. I love it because Nicolae's shed is a new space that Meow Wolf made that is just as committed to the lore as their original house and these original spaces. It's committed to the lore more than any room in Grapevine is committed to its own lore. They could have built lore for Grapevine. They could have built spaces like that, and they could have built a space like that in here. Does this room make you think anything? Does it make you feel anything? I mean, it makes me feel something. It makes me feel fucking bad. It makes me feel mad. I got a little excited when I saw the buttons. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, all right, they made it interactive. They made it immersive. Maybe it's a puzzle. It's not a puzzle. It's not immersive, and it's barely interactive. I preferred this room walled off as a grave to Space Owl. Look, even the chairs. Look at these chairs. Who did this? Who was in charge of this? What last-minute assignment did someone turn in to make this room? I don't usually like to talk this way because I know that real artists made everything here, but like, this is nothing compared to the Space Owl. It's nothing. And I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed because I know they can do so much better.